Oh, Evangelion. Whatever that thing in Evangelion was called, where everybody merges together. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we're back with some Jujutsu Kaisen. I apologize right off the top. It has been over a week since the last time I've recorded an episode of this. I have an explanation to make, but first I think we need to take a quick look at the board, and that'll reveal things. So what has happened is that I guess a perfectionist element of me has come out, and that has caused me to waste a lot of time. And the worst part is that I did not achieve perfection. You can see from the board that what I did was I tried to do a family tree sort of thing, which is what's happening there at the top. And then I decided to try and completely remake the board to the current standard of which we do boards here on the channel. Well, in doing so, I discovered that a lot of stuff from the Shibuya arc was just not there on the board. I believe at some point that I had tried to previously remake the board, specifically when I was rewatching it with I must have been Justin at the time, and I must have just forgot to add all that shit. So in the process of trying to do a relayout, by the way, this isn't the first. I did a bunch, and then I kept not liking it and kept going back and going back and going back. And by that time, episode 3 had come out, and now I think episode 4 is out. I just fell behind trying to give y'all the best board I possibly could. Well, as you can see, shit is still obviously wrong. So, I'm putting a call out for help on this one. If you look at the board and you see a relationship tree or a connection or someone that should be dead or someone that's missing, let me know. Post it down in the comments. Hey, I think you got this wrong, or you forgot about this thing. Let me know. I want the board to be up to date as best as possible. Unfortunately, as y'all know, I have a lot of shows to go over, and essentially this is like half of an arc that seems to be missing from my board. So, in lieu of not pushing this back more and more, trying to get it right, I'm just moving forward. So you can see the board as it is. I don't have a board changelog because I just made so many changes. We'd be here forever. But down in the description below, there will be a link to an image of the board that you can peruse in your own time. You won't have to base it all on this this little vignette window that we have going on here. Other than that, though, I do think the only thing I've gotten right is the family tree thing going on at the top. I tried to put together all the information I had from season 1, season 2, comments made, comment responses that we've done. I think I've got all of that right. So, other than that, it should be just the stuff on the bottom. But again, if you notice something's wrong with the family tree stuff, let me know as well. Alright, that said though, we do come back with comments and notes. So let's go ahead and hop into my notes first thing. And these, of course, will be from the last 2 episodes combined. I'll always remember, as one of the early anime series I saw on TV, Zex Marquise from Gundam Wing. My hands are too stained with blood. It was a part of his speech about being unfit to head the Peacecraft monarchy, but it's always where my mind goes when presented with the ideas of someone dealing with the number of people that they've killed. Recently, I've been getting repeats of a short on YouTube for this hospital show where this surgeon fails to save someone on the operating table, and it's him scrubbing his hands for the next surgery, with people repeatedly coming to him to tell him to stop. That he can't handle the fact that he couldn't save someone, that someone died because of him. Both of these things get invoked in my head by episode 1's opening. Yuji is clearly dealing with some PTSD over what happened during the Shibuya incident. I don't think there was blood on his hands. In reality, despite the scenes of curse hunting that we saw him in, I think that was all in his head, trying to wash off the results of what he did when he wasn't in control of his body. No matter how much he's washing, the red remains on his hands and continues to flow because it's all in his head. It's a powerful visual. So I guess what I've been mocking as Choso getting messed up in the head was actually true the entire time. Going back over everything to make that relationship chart on the board kind of just spelled it all out. I guess maybe I got into my head that it wasn't a thing because of all the Todo fantasies we'd had leading up to that, that I just assumed something along these lines had occurred, where it hadn't. Well, now I know, and not gonna make a fool of myself for the entirety of this season misunderstanding that. So, the new opening. Hopefully future me remembers to include screenshots where I've taken them. So far, a lot of stuff that isn't particularly noteworthy for me. The characters we already know posing in front of scenes or with symbols I have no clue about. Take it that I've seen those and have no thoughts. I really slowed down the playback to check out the quick flash scenes, though. One has to be of Choso experiencing an outdoor dinner with his family, including Yuji. Got 6 of the vials on the table, plus the 2 bodied brothers that got killed at the end of Season 1. Then we got someone laying in a hospital bed with an inscription on their forehead. That's not Megumi's sister, which was my first guess for some reason. Wrong hair color. Best guess, new character. We got the principal looking down on Panda in a crib as a baby. Then a room at school, I guess, with what looks like someone sitting at the end of it. No clue who it could be, though. Then a shot of crazed Yuji looking into a mirror. The Sukuna emblem is on him, along with the extra eyes, so clearly being controlled again, but bloody as hell. And now there's a giant pillar in the center of the city that I guess Kenjaku is keeping a close eye on. Also, that someone is attempting to nuke. Some creepy ass shots of, I guess, Kenjaku as Yuji's mother, drawn in old Russian Gothic style. A shot of 2 children in bed, I guess Maki and Mai. An artist rendition of the principal and Panda. Another new character, dude in a half superhero outfit. I'm going to interrupt my own thought here to note I have been spoiled on this guy from, I don't know, commentaries about stuff. People have been asking, like, who's the most powerful character or strongest character or whatever, and I don't know if they were even specifically talking about Jujutsu Kaisen. I am aware, and spoiler warning in case you don't know, I don't know how I would know something you wouldn't know, but I believe he's like a Joker guy. He's like, not the Joker, but like a comedian, and that whatever he finds to be funny, he can make into reality. So he can be like immortal if he finds it funny. I don't know. I believe that's that character. I have no visual reference for it, but I've heard about a character like that, and that's what it looks like to me. The Noya moments before we get to meet him, I guess someone in charge somewhere got killed. Oh, looks like Yuji, Megumi, and half superhero guy get along. Including this shot, because I have no idea what I'm looking at. Maybe someone with the power to eat things and a visual representation of Sukuna. So I spelled his name wrong there. Sukuna. There's a shot with just a bunch of characters. Some are new. Honestly, I think I'm gonna let them be introduced as they come, since they only get like half a second each in the intro. I guess Nabuto really likes Naoya. Sorry, I'm never gonna say his name right until I hear it a bunch more times. Naoya. Noya? Noya? At least looks that way in a clan member shot where I think he's got his arm over Naoya, and you got the other family members there, plus the entire clan behind him. I guess the clan is going to feature a lot in this season, considering everyone in the shot makes an appearance in later frames of the opening. We got the girl in the wheelchair. Writing this after having watched episode 2 strikes a chord in my mind, because I thought that was going to be Megumi's sister, and this clearly doesn't look like her, so I guess different character. Although it occurs to me in my mind now that if she is being inhabited by a former sorcerer, right, the element is that Sukuna kind of changes Yuji's appearance when Sukuna comes out. So it could still be Megumi's sister in those past references, and when that past sorcerer comes out, they just change her appearance. Maybe. I don't know. And we wrap with the nuke going off and Kenjaku laughing. So, those are my notes about the opening. Noya commenting on Mai is strange, not just because of its misogyny, but she's also his cousin. Like, even if you're cool with that, they're first cousins. That's like one step away from him commenting on his sister's tits. Creepy dude is creepy. I guess Noya's older brothers must be the mysterious masked men in the background of the picture. That or those couple of guys that have yet to have made an appearance in the show proper, but were in the front row of the same shot in the opening. Besides Ogi, that is. Either way, all of the new Zenin we've been introduced to have been special grade first graders. Special first graders. I don't know. It's a weird sentence to say. I don't particularly remember what covenant may have been had with Toji, I guess, other than respecting his ability to fulfill his job. In this case, if Gojo dies, we'll consider it a Toji job well done. I don't know. Because otherwise, you couldn't get further removed from the clan head than Megumi. Other than, say, Sumiki, I guess. Then again, by that token, I don't know why it would go straight to Noya and not, say, Ogi, or Nabito's other brother, or Noya's older brothers. I guess that picture in the opening showing Nabito showing preference to Noya speaks volumes. I completely missed that Choso was trying to get Yuji to remember that his father should have had stitches on his forehead, but of course we later see that it was his mother that had them. On top of that, Yuji's grandfather, who's been dead since episode 1, said that she had died before showing up in that same scene. Noya's pretty smart. That, or I'm just really dumb. That's up in the air. I just know that in this universe, I'd never be able to figure out anyone's abilities or how to deal with them. Typical power systems have all the powers based on like one mechanic, and once you figure that out, or once you figure out that one thing, you can figure out everything else. Here, figuring out one aspect of a power really doesn't get you the whole picture, and sometimes I can't even figure out the one aspect without the characters just straight up telling me. So Noya figuring out Choso on the spot is miracle work to me. Here I am, still trying to figure out if Noya is just like his dad or not. It does seem like, I think he explained it, that he's like jumping frames ahead or frames back, but I'm just happening to be dead honest with you. Nabito explained his power at some point, and I was like, still just not getting it. People just do strange shit in this world, and I'm never going to be able to figure it out unless it's like super basic. It's an interesting quirk with Yuta that he's releasing energy all the time, so it makes him harder to read. The example they gave kind of felt like how blind fighters seem in other media. The minor disturbances around them tipping them off to the movements of others. The difference being that Yuta would be a walking earthquake in that example. It'd be impossible to detect what he's doing because everything is setting you off. You can't detect Yuta's minute movements because the typical way to sense it is buried under layers of the thing that you're trying to be detecting. Well, I commented about a girl in a wheelchair in the opening bit and referred to episode 2. And getting back to episode 2 in my notes, I was wrong. That's clearly Megumi's feet and his sister in a wheelchair, with Akari behind her. Actually, I was going to make that connection on the board, but then realized that without a face, I can't tell if that is Akari or Arata. Well, I know that there was going to be a Wasuke knows more than he talked about way back in episode 1. Guess we're just going to be getting that in flashback form from baby Yuji is all. In this instance, he knew something was up with Yuji's mother, in that she couldn't have kids, then died, and then suddenly came back and was able to have Yuji. Of course, we from the future can see that she has the head scars of Kenjaku, making the brain guy Yuji's mother. I suppose in that way, Yuji is the classic shonen archetype, in league with your Ichigos, Narutos, and Luffy's, born into multiple power sets to be revealed and developed as the show goes on. I guess reverse energy healing can't take care of scars. Well, never mind. Tsukumo says as much herself. Have we met Hikari? They aren't on my board, and the name doesn't ring a bell. Doesn't seem out of place with a show to just name drop a person that we haven't met as a way of setting them up for the future, though. Also cute that they lined up the conversation with Yuta and Gojo to be at the end of the movie, where we see them meeting up with Miguel in Africa. just for myself, I did write down all the rules of the Culling game, and I'm pleased to have seen that all the flashes of rules that we got was just the one screen of rules and then it going over like little brief snippets, so it wasn't like multiple pages of stuff. But not so complicated. 19 days to join or not, plus 19 days leeway to change your point status. The consequence of failing to do so means losing your techniques. You get a point value assigned based on pre-existing kills, I guess. Those points can't be used for anything, but points you earn in the game can be used to add rules to the game. I'm not sure if what I'm seeing is a typo or not, as it says that the GM has to approve of all the rules, except the ones that would significantly alter the continuation of the game. As I'd imagine, it should be the inverse of that. Otherwise, the most glaring absence within the rules would be the statement on how to win the Culling game. I mean, I think we can all assume, but it'd be nice to codify that in the rules. My final note from Episode 1 and Episode 2. I wonder if Tengen is going to be weakened by the whole Riko being killed before thing, since the ritual or whatever was never performed. I mean, it was a good callback to, was it Tsukumo? Walking in, commenting on where the blood stain comes from. But then again, we've already alluded to the element of the movie having happened all throughout, the toji thing, the conversation in Africa, like, the universe moves on. If you didn't see it, the show is going to allude to it, but whatever. Anyway, those are my notes. As I said, we have a couple of comments, both from a returning Alex V9. Hi Theta, it's been a long time. I hope you're doing well as one can be. I've been under the radar for a while, but I've been keeping an eye on the channel. I stopped commenting on Fate because others were already doing a good job and were even better informed than me. But since I'm, maybe, your most engaged viewer on Jujutsu Kaisen, I hope, I'll be back for this, and I'll try to adjust my schedule to be here. Appreciate it, brother. This season is really going to require remembering everything previously mentioned in seasons 1 and 2, since Jujutsu Kaisen relies on trusts the memory of its viewers. That is a difficult proposition. I mean, only from the element of back then, I didn't know what was valuable information to keep track of, and then, again, the element that I said during my first episode's thing, I didn't keep fucking good notes back then. So, in any case, it's good to be back. Hope you have a great day. And I think I just combined two of your comments into one. You're correct, Kenjaku the sorcerer with the ability to possess bodies by transplanting his brain possessed Kare Itadori for a time, during which he became pregnant with Jin Itadori and gave birth to Yuji. This is why Yuji is Choso's blood brother, so he's not making it up. Choso is indeed Yuji's brother, half-brother, through his blood relationship with Kenjaku, who is their father/mother, which I've already represented on the board, so we're on spec. Yeah, as you've already experienced, Jujutsu Kaisen only requires good memory and comprehension to understand what's happening in the story, so don't worry. Episode 3, which you've already seen, have not obviously, I assume was somewhat helpful, but still confusing. Well, good to know that I'm getting into something confusing. As I already explained before, I've kind of fucked up trying to get the board perfect and then failed to do so, which has set me back. What I'm probably going to end up doing is I'm going to react to episode 3 on the back of all this notes and everything, and then I'm just probably going to roll right into episode 4 so I can keep back to schedule. So I won't have any notes in episode 4 if I do what I'm saying I'm going to do, and then otherwise catch myself back up on episode 5. So that's the plan for now. We'll see if that happens. Otherwise, welcome back. Good to have you around again, Alex V9. Well, all of that said, I think it's about time we actually get into an episode. So let's hop on in and see what episode 3 has for us.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Again, it's an interesting opening. I can't say that it's my favorite genre of opening style. It's certainly energetic, though. And probably really going to be good in the payoff once we're, like, deep into the season. Assuming that we don't get multiple openings. Just from the element that I can see that once we start seeing these new characters that are, getting flashed to us here, we'll have context for them. Although not that they're doing very much in the opening shots. I actually should have paused on the one where Kenjaku is watching cameras, because I'm pretty sure there's text under the cameras, and I could have gotten that translated. See if he's watching specific people or not, or what the camera's looking at. Again, I hope future me does remember to put the screenshots into the sections I'm talking about the opening, so you can see the weird-ass shots I'm talking about. I did consider going back through to screenshot all the new characters. The element is that I just don't know anything about them to make that worthwhile. Otherwise, I don't know if there's going to be any context for Kenjaku looking down the thing in the pillar thing in the center of town. Descendant of Michizi. Do I know that one?
こいつがこれがこの人が人か天元君は初対面じゃないだろうつくもゆきなぜ構成軍を閉じた
I mean, she's the one I'm most interested in, given the conversation with Geto back in the day, and my boy Toto. Sorry, Tody.
かつてカモノリとし今はゲトをすぐるの肉体に宿っている術師だ慈悲の剣救済の策か皮肉にもなってないね天元様はなんでそんな感じなの
I guess there's a meaning behind the name that I just didn't know.
私は不死であって不老ではない君も500年をいればこうなるよマジでか12年前聖正体との同化に失敗してから老化は加速し
Well, there we go. That's the consequence.
天地そのものが私の自我となったんだあの時聖正体がもう一人いたわけじゃなかったのか道理で声が増えないわけだすみません僕たちはその賢弱の目的と獄門教の解き方を聞きに来ました知ってることを話してもらえませんかもちろん
I'm glad somebody has the concern that the only entrance and exit's vanishing.
乙骨ユータ、つくもゆき、呪体クソーズ3人のうち2人はここに残り私の護衛をしてもらう護衛不死なんですよね封印とかを危惧してるんですかフェアじゃないな
Things are getting darker.
護衛の期間も理由も明かさないのか
Forever? No, okay. That seems we're getting dark. I thought we were getting ominous.
あの子の目的は日本全土を対象とした人類への進化の強制だそれは聞きました具体的に何をするつもり
I think we said that in comments before, even if I didn't understand it.
天元様の結界を利用し無意天変で日本の人間を全員術師にしなかったんですかそれをやるには単純に呪力不足だ渦巻きで生成した呪力は術師に還元できない術式で一人一人進化を促すのはあまりに効率が悪い賢弱が取る進化手段は人類と私の同化だ
Okay, that's different. I was gonna say, so far, this sounds like everything I went through in the episode 1 notes.
以前の私ならね12年前に進化を始めた今の私なら
Oh, that's right, because if he didn't get the thing, he would evolve into a god or something.
だがお前は一人だろうどうやって複数の人間と同化するんだ今 君たちの目の前にいる私ですら私ではない。進化した私の魂は至るところにある。言っただろ、天地そのものが私の自我なんだ。私と同化した人間は術師という壁すら超える。そこにいてそこにいない新しい存在の形さ。私には結界術があったから進化後もこうして形と理性を
I
保
mean,
つ。
it makes sense.
だがもし人類が進化し、その
The element of
うちの
taking a
一人
single
でも
form to be
暴走を
more
始めたら
able to
世界
communicate,
は
I mean, makes sense.
終わりだ。なぜ子としての境界がないんだ。悪意の電波は一瞬さ。1億人分の汚れが世界に流れ出る。
Oh,
先の
Evangelion.
世界で最
Whatever that thing in Evangelion was called, where everybody merges together.
さあね、これも言っただろう。私に人の心まではわからない。
でもそれって天元様が同化を拒否すればいいだけじゃないですか。
そこが問題なんだ。進化を果たした今の私は蘇生としては人間より呪霊に近い。私は呪霊操術の術式対象だ。
I'm glad we got this freaking flow chart
剣
explaining
術
everything.
術師としての実力を考慮すると接触した時点で取り込まれるかもしれない。だから私の本体は今構成宮で全てを拒絶している。
その上で超えよう。
ああ。
You're in the Tomb of Stars. If she's absorbing everything, that means all the weapons and everything too, right?
なぜ今なんだ。聖書体との同化を阻止。お前を進化させ、呪霊操術で取り込み、操る。賢弱は少なとも関わりがあるようだった。少なくとも1000年術師をやっている。だぜ、今なんだ。
Well, comparably old. I think we already knew that though.
聖書体、そして陸眼。これらはすべて因果でつながっている。賢弱は過去に2度陸眼の術師に敗れている。2度目の賢弱は徹底していた。聖書体も陸眼もすべて生後1月以内に殺
Is
す。
that aligned with also the element we know that Megumi's ancestors fought these things?
その後賢弱は陸眼を抹殺ではなく封印へと方針を変え獄門教の捜索を始めた。陸眼持ちは同時に2人は現れないからね。だが12年前予期せぬことが起こった。全員当時の介入だ。天陽呪縛によるフィジカルギフテッド。その中で
Again, I think Toji is my second, right behind Todo.
脱却した存在だ。呪縛の力で因果の外に出た人間が私たちの運命を破壊してしまった。
Regrettable. Fucking hate that Rico had to die.
意図せず獄門教以外のピースが全て揃ったんだ。そして6年前、その獄門教も賢弱の手に渡った。
Didn't really explain why he had such difficulty finding the prison realm.
同化前の奈良次第よ。
Unless I missed it.
聖書体以外との同化は不可能ではないが、現時点では高確率で不完全なものとなるだろう。 死滅回遊はプレイヤーの呪力とコロニーとコロニーで結んだ境界を使ってこの国の人間を彼岸へ渡す儀式だ。それを鳴らしとして私との同化を始めるつもりだろう。だがこれ
Why just Japan, though?
成立させるために賢弱自身も縛りを負っているはずだ。 その一つとして死滅回遊のゲームマスターは
Oh, I just assumed he would be.
だがこれは君たちにとって不利に働くな。賢弱を殺しても死滅回遊
Well,
は
who is the
終わらない
game
のだ
master?
から。プレイヤーが全員死ぬか、プレイヤーが全員参加を拒否して死ぬか。それまで死滅回遊は終わ
I
る。
think that can't happen because we don't know where the colony is, which means people would have randomly wandered into it by now, probably.
となるとだね。僕らも死滅回遊に参加したい。積木さんやゲームに消極的な人が回遊を抜けるルールを追加するしかない。
Okay, so it wasn't a typo.
五条先生の解放も並行しましょう。あの人がいれば一人で全て肩がつく。
I think it's just an assumption that Gojo could find a way out.
私が
Of the game, I mean.
有事には乙骨かこの女の協力が必要不可欠だろう。かものりとし。賢弱がここに天元を狙ってくるならなおさらだ。奴の命を絶つことが弟たちの救済だからな。
私はまだ天元と話し足りなくてね。いいかな、乙骨くん。はい。
I don't know, it really feels like Tengen's not going to be talking to you the entire time. Dead ass. Sorry.
これが五条悟の解放、そのために必要な獄門鏡裏だ。
裏？
初耳だね。
裏門ってこ
I
と？
mean, they've got all this secret stuff. I'm not surprised.
賢弱に見つかる前、獄門鏡は私の結界の外、おそらく海外にあった。この裏門を封印することで表の気配を抑えていたんだが無駄だったね。この裏門の中にも五条悟は封印されている。
これを開ければ。
いや、あくまで開門の権限は表の所有者賢弱のものだ。
So, what's the point of having the
これを
back?
こじ開けるには、あらゆる術式を強制解除する天の逆鉾。あらゆる術式効果を乱し相殺する国上。このどちらかが必要。
At least there's options. I feel like we're playing a fucking video game.
天の逆鉾は12年前、五条悟が海外に封印したか破壊してしまった。
何してんの先生。
国上も去年五条悟が全て消してしまった。
何してんだあの人。
Abroad doesn't mean we can't get it. It means we have to travel.
国上の残りは僕がアフリカでミケルさんと探してたんだけど。
海外ってそれで言ってた。
Yeah, but Yuta's been abroad. Why can't we go abroad?
無駄したったね。
もうないって。
I mean, assuming that any of these people have not entered the colony already, wherever that might be. Well, it's all of Japan is the colony.
彼女の術式はあらゆる術式を消滅させる。
Assuming she's going to be willing to work with.
術式を消滅させる。
ああ、天使の術式なら獄門鏡裏を開けることができる。
そいつは今どこにいるかわかりますか？
東京の東側のコロニーだ。
Okay, so in the Culling game already.
私を拒絶しているからそれ以上の情報はない。まずそこから整理しようか。全国等のコロニー、それが日本の人間を被
Oh,
害
a colony, not the colony. Got it.
海とつながっている。
川や境界をまたぐ彼岸へ渡る行為は呪術的に大きな意味を持つっす。
八十八橋の時の。
Certainly going to be a lot of fucking notes to take on this episode.
北海道が入ってないのは呪術連の結界？そうだ。あの地はすでに巨大な霊場として奈良氏が住んでいる。
さすが試される大地。
I saw that was a catchphrase. I didn't read the rest of the note.
にいる人間全員に呪いをかけて同化の前準備をしているのさ。
儀式が終わるまでどのくらいかかりますか？
回遊次第だが、2月もあれば済むだろう。
今11月9日の午前9時だ。プレイヤーの術師が覚醒したのが
So we're expecting this to be over sometime in January.
積み木が回遊に参加するまでの猶予はざっと10日と15時間。
So do you lose your technique if you had your technique before the start of all this?
天元様はさっき参加を拒否すれば死ぬと言ってましたよね。
ああ。
術式の剥奪か。後追いで参加する術師にも適用されるルールだろ。
I mean, stripped of technique doesn't mean death.
行われるわけじゃないと思う。使用禁止ではなく剥奪だから縛りでもない。
I'll be honest, I thought that guy died. I'm assuming this is the doctor lady, right? Without the purple under her eyes.
翔子さんの読み通りだったが、逆に私みたいなのとか術式持ってない術師はノーリスクだよな。つうかパンダはどうなんだ？あいつノーとかあんのか？
これさ、初めから結界の中にいる一般の人らはどうなんの？
少なくとも一度は外に出る機会を与えられる。
マジ？
随分と親切ですね。
ルールに一つもコロニーの出入りに関する条項がない。プレイヤーに始め結界から出るという明確な目的を与え。
Well, there was a stipulation about entering. I missed the exiting one.
閉じ込めるにはプレイヤーが自ら望んで入ったという前提が重要だからね。
伊野さんが言ってた結界の足し引きか。相続に原則ってごちゃってすんな。
Yeah, 100 normal people is worth 20 sorcerers.
ゲームマスターっていうのは
各プレイヤーに1体ずつつく式神、小金。小金も正確に言えばゲームマスターではなく窓口だ。ゲームマスターは死滅回遊のプログラム。
I guess this just really goes to show how complicated the Culling game is going to be. We needed an entire episode to go over.
追加か。すでにあるルールを消すのはなしかな。
遠回しに否定ならいけるかもしれませんね。
これありか？
だよな。判断基準があっち任せすぎる。
いや、ある程度は公平な判断が見込めるはずだ。すでにプレイヤーにここまでのルールを敷いているんだ。呪術的にはこれ以上賢弱に利益が偏ることはない。
I don't really know why, but sure.
また人を殺さなきゃいけないのか。
いや、いくつか考えがある。
And if it's possible to lose points, then you wouldn't have to kill somebody, you just have to figure out a way to lose points.
ユキさんと長宗はここに残って天元様の護衛。私はまず全員家に戻って呪具の回収。
If you can, so you need Noah and one of the brothers' permission.
だがめぐみが全員家の当主になった。
後で説明する。
Oh. Assuming he doesn't kill you first, then I guess.
で、その前に天元様。
わかっている。組や重蔵のアトリエだろ。
助かります。用が済んだらパンダ探して海遊の平定に協力する。ユータは
No one going for Toto?
早速コロニーに入って海遊に参加するよ。積木さんや伏黒くんたちが海遊に参加する前に。
I'm gonna have to add all this shit to the board. More board shit to do.
また単独行動だけど、万が一身内で潰し合うことがないように。それから積木さんに何かあった時のために近場のコロニーは避けるね。結界で電波が断たれるかもしれないからしばらく連絡取れないかも。
あ、もし次俺がスカナと変わったら迷わず殺してくれ。
言ってる場合か。
I mean,
その時は俺が死んだ後。
he's the only one who can do it, right?
いや、そうならないためにさ。
先輩。
ああ、お前らは予定通り金次のとこ行け。
金次？
はかり金次。定学中の3年生だよ。
今はとにかく人手が。
Well, again, this answers the question I had from my notes.
その人強いの？
I recognize the shot from the opening, though.
乗ってる時は僕より強いよ。
それはない。
Oh, I'm gonna have so much work to do. Again, I'll be going over all of this. What, probably episode 5, since I plan to watch episode 4 right after this. They do love showing her from the back. It's regrettable we're not gonna have Choso for the rest of this, I guess.
ありがとう。助かった。死ぬなよ。
泣いてんの？
Frank proficient. Oh, this is gonna be our comedy guy.
いつまでそないしとんねん。やめや。こっちまで新曲さなる。お前いくつやったっけ？35っす。ほなもうやめてまえ。
Younger than
この
me.
業界遅咲きのやつ。ようわからんきっかけで急に売れるやつ。ぎょうさんおる。でもそいつらは急におもろなったわけやない。もともとおもろかったけど埋もれてただけやねん。
I don't know, it's not impossible. So to develop a new sense of humor.
お前にできる向いてることをさ。
俺は嫌いやなかったで、高場のネタ。
ケンさん。
あいつもお前も勘違いしとる。おもろなくても売れるやつは売れんねん。
People's sense of humor changes over time too, and I don't mean like what he does as a joke. Society's sense of humor can sometimes change.
お前はどっちや?
It's also weird that the aspect ratio seems to have changed. It's either that or I just wasn't noticing before. Like I said, I already thought he was going to be the comedian guy. Maybe I was spoiled to it. I don't know. I haven't seen anything of him, so I don't really know what it looks like when he does a thing. It's just the conceit that I know that there's a guy out there who has a power that if he finds something funny, it exists, right? I think it was a death battle. Maybe it was death battle that I encountered this in. Like, I think it was somebody in Jujutsu Kaisen versus, God, I can't remember his name. All of a sudden, my guy from Bleach. Kenpachi from Bleach. I think he was being used as an example that, hey, this guy could beat this guy, so that this guy then can beat that guy. You know, A equals B, B equals C, so A must equal C. And yes, I had no notes about the ending credits, only from the element that all of Jujutsu Kaisen's ending credits seem to always be an eclectic little menagerie of stuff. Like the jellyfish there, signaling back to Junpei, I imagine. So yeah, I'm interested to see what comedian guy can do, and not for nothing, seems like he's gonna be a good guy. Not that any people like that exist in Jujutsu Kaisen.
昔みたいにまたいじめたろか。じゃあマキさんがやってくださいよ。あんたは私で、私はあんたの。産んでよかったと思わせて。少子全部。全部壊して。
Okay, next episode, we're going back to the Zanin place, I guess, as the main focus of the episode. It's gonna be interesting. I didn't suspect that Noya was just gonna fucking give up. I figured he would just try to kill Megumi, even if Megumi was the clan head, but probably there's... I was gonna say rules, but assuming I don't think that Noya is gonna be big into obeying rules, I don't know why he would stop, other than the element that possibly there may be like a thing that if you kill the clan head, you cannot then become the clan head. So maybe the element is that he got fucked over from the plan that he had in episode 1, from his failure in episode 2, right? Although I guess he's still gonna fuck around with who shows up. You know, it's also interesting the element that he is so anti-weapon, though even though he used a weapon, and then was responsible. Does Megumi also need the brothers' permission to access the vaults? Also, wait a second. Why did they have to go to the Zenin vault if there was also a cache of weapons where they were, where Tengen was, right? Tengen. Because I believe that was told to us when Noya was hearing the will being recited. That the Zenin have weapons there as well. I guess she specifically wants one specific weapon. And it's at the Zenin vault and not this one. Whatever. Yeah, I'm going to have a lot of work to do when I retake the notes to get essentially, 75% of this episode down into a flowchart. I don't have much to say here. I think I covered the bits of the Culling game rules that I had from my own notes in the note section. This was a bunch of added stuff, a bunch of what the Kenjaku's goal was, what he has done to accomplish this, how previous actions have wound their way into creating the situation that we're in. I do not think that I have 100% understood everything going on, but every time that they brought something up, I think I was on board with like, oh, okay, I remember that happening. I understand how they're saying that this led to that. I understand it from the element of somebody reading a history book and like, I don't know why this happened, but I understand that this says that that happened because of this. So I'm in that. Like, I don't have to have 100% understanding. All I have to do is be able to concede that they said it happened, so it happened. I'm sure I will understand it better when I'm taking my time, taking my notes, and creating a visual example for myself. So, understand that that will happen, but it won't happen by likely the next episode that I react to, because again, going to be reacting back to back again to try and keep up with the schedule. That said, expect more thoughts about that later, but for now, I think we can go ahead and wrap up here. So once again, I have been Theta, this has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?